Hello everyone, Shinto Bean here, and it has been a little bit since my last video. I was actually in the hospital for 4 days last week after I got appendicitis, so that was fun, but I am still alive, and in this video we will be looking at some images from the most recent blog post from the developers, and they are detailing the winter roadmap, so things that they're working on and things that will be released into the game in the near future. First of all, this is the roadmap that they released before. So this was starting in the spring and going into the summer and autumn. So just going from the top, these are things that they were able to accomplish this year of the game. So consolidating community channels, they got rid of the in-game forum in the Combat Cards game and switched to social media and Discord. Discord is the best way, I think, to communicate about this game, although recently the developers have been a lot less communicative and active on Discord because a lot of the backlash, I think. A lot of players are really putting the heat on the developers, who are not, I don't think, entirely responsible for all of the changes that people are unhappy with. They are certainly in part responsible, but it's not really fair to blame them for everything. But yeah, Discord is still, I guess, the best way to have a conversation about the game. Moving down the line, we got the clan leaderboard. Yeah, so every week we do have a clan event, a clan campaign, where you can earn some extra rewards for that. We've got the Battle Pass, the infamous Battle Pass, which came out a few seasons ago, and then they made, of course, some pretty drastic changes to it recently that a lot of players were unhappy with. The new challenges on the right, that is sort of a mystery. That's something that I guess they didn't really get to yet. May come out in the future. Moving down the line, we got Trazen the Infinite as a new warlord. The Tau Warlord was sadly cancelled because I think mainly the release of the Leagues of Votann. So that sort of replaced that. And then we had some events, explorations. We got the anniversary event and the reworked coin economy. That's something also that they did over a long time, gradually, in several stages. That was another thing that was a little bit difficult for a lot of people to accept, especially because a lot of the early changes were simply like reducing the amount of resources we were getting in the game. So just, later on they added additional ways to get those resources, but it still was not really the same as what it once was. At least that was the feeling. So I feel like there's been kind of a lot of resentment growing. And then now with the changes to the Battle Pass, it's reached kind of a breaking point, causing a lot of longtime players to leave the game. Personally, I'm not too bothered by the Battle Pass changes. I think it's honestly not that big of a deal, but for a lot of people, I think they think otherwise. So that was up until now, but looking to the future, this is the winter roadmap for the end of 2022, early 2023. So we've got 3 different colors here. Got features in green, events in blue, and just other stuff in yellow. So we'll start with the features at the top. On the left side, close to release, are the secondary traits. So these are the dual traits that, as far as I know, will only be available for cards that are at max level and beyond. So it's only going to affect a very small percentage of players, unless they've made some change that I don't know about. Now, occasionally they do have special campaigns where everyone has access to max level cards, so at least everyone will have some chances to hopefully use those dual traits. Over on the right side, this is a little bit coming later on, are the cosmetic upgrades for cards. This was supposed to actually be released at the same time as the secondary traits. It's kind of like an extra upgrade. It doesn't affect the stats of the card, but just makes it shiny or whatever, but I guess that's something that will take some more time, so they're just going to release that at a later time. And then the Lords of War. Now this is actually pretty cool, making the Lords of War collectible. So we've seen some of these really epic characters. You got Gilliman and the Silent King. We got the Tyranid Biotitans and then those giant orc monstrosities, among others. Those cards will apparently become collectible, and I think they mention in the blog, they didn't say specifically, but I think they might make some changes to those cards in order to make them usable, because of course at 200 points you can't actually use them in a normal game. So it'll be interesting to see what they do there. Now moving on to the events in blue, over to on the left side, the ones that are closest to release, we've got a new modifier. Modifiers originally were released with when they first came out with the special type of exploration campaigns, which in the past were not very common. You know, it's just like a couple times a year. But now they've become a lot more prevalent in the game. Seems like pretty much every other week there's a campaign, just a regular campaign with a modifier. But they haven't released any new modifiers for a while, so this Battle Scars one, we don't really have details on it, but it sounds like it will be quite a bit different than anything we've seen. It may even change the way that we play the campaign, so it'll be interesting to see if they actually, you know, make some changes to like the core type of gameplay that has been around since the game was first released. Let's see, now in development, in the middle actually, there's a new Votann Warlord, which will be nice. The Leagues of Votann, I think, was an exciting release at first, but then after playing them for a little bit, I mean, I think they did a great job on the cards. They look great, stats-wise they're good, but the issue is, at least for long-term players like me, they are just so weak compared to every other faction that they're just not very fun to play. As last week we had a campaign playing as the Leagues, and it was not very fun. But it'll be nice to at least have another Warlord, and they are actually filling out the roster pretty quickly for that faction. Below that, we've got the next few battle passes, so the closest one to release is Death Corps, which is nice. They're a pretty popular sub-faction for the Servants of the Emperor, so that'll be fun. Swooping Hawks for the Eldari, and then Gene Stealers for the Tyranids will be coming in the future. And then below that, we've got events, Black Friday and Thanksgiving, which is going to be, it looks like, Dark Angels versus the Fallen. That should be interesting. And we got a Christmas event themed around the Imperial Guard, and then a Lunar New Year event coming next year. And then finally at the bottom, they are doing continual work on the servers, which is another big issue in the game. For me personally, it hasn't been too terrible. I mean, there are times when the game runs very slowly, whether it's, you know, loading a game or just trying to get back to the menu, or you know, just starting the game up or trying to upgrade a card. Occasionally it will just take a very long time, just a lot of lag. But I think from the sound of it, some people have been experiencing like extreme lag, and to the point where the game is hardly playable, which is not good. But those kind of issues have been plaguing the game since it was first released, so I wouldn't get my hopes up too much that, you know, it'll suddenly become everything will get magically fixed, but hopefully they will be able to improve the player experience there. So that is it for this roadmap here. I've got some pretty interesting stuff coming in the near future, and I'm glad that they decided to release this preview. But yeah, there's a few things to look forward to. Let me know what you think of the game as it is now, as well as these things that are coming in the near future. But that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.